There we go. It's Friday night. And do you know where your camera is? You do. Well, welcome to the Christmas room. This is Peter, and you are my friends. Let's see. Turn the chat on. Get things rolling, and we are ready to rock and roll. All right. So this is... my name is Woody. No, my name is not Woody. My name is Peter. So welcome to the Christmas room. I'm looking for my intro so I could go sit down.
Sit back, relax. You are about to watch a Peter Gregg video. Something warm, human, and wonderful happens when you watch Peter Gregg.
There we go. I'm all the way down here. Where did everybody go? Oh, that's the next camera. So here we go. I sat in my chair. I found my intro and I put it in here. So welcome everybody. We are in the Christmas room in Miami, Florida. Not Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is Lewis's territory. Oh, speaking of Lewis, he is saying hello. Let's come over and first let's say hi to Woody. Hello, Friday Nighters. Hi, Woody. How you doing? Woody's got a big congratulations in order. Yeah, he really, really does, but I'll let him spill the beans. But it's exciting, super exciting. I would be so excited I wouldn't be able to sleep for like at least 3 days. So Lewis, Mr. Camera Junkie, is stopping by saying hi, waving. Hi, Aiden. How you doing, Aiden? How's everything going? Everything cool? Hi, Lewis. Everything fine? I didn't even look at the weather, so I hope we don't get no lightning, no interruptions of our show from coast to coast and shore to shore and around the world. Hello. How is everybody doing? I got a cup of coffee and it's interfering in my show. I don't know where to put it. What's with coffee? I don't see anybody else having coffee. Well, I want to have coffee so I don't go and get into that sleepy mood. Oh, Jeff is here. All the way from Australia. How's your wings? Did you just fly in? Your arms tired? Alrighty, so what's the news? I actually went live every night this week, if just for a little bit. If I could get the wire out of here. So this feels like old hat to me. It feels like last night and the night before. And the night before, and the night before. We've been having problems all week, and I've been solving it with all of you guys. So the problems are all solved. I found out what the culprit was. Yes, I did. And it kind of was surprising because I tried to reach through to Panasonic. I could tell you right now, they're a pain in the ASSPRINE, Aspirini, to try to get through to, and I'm glad I didn't. It would have just got me angrier. So I figured, what would the person do if they answered the phone? Which there's no phone, okay? What would the person do? They would probably go through some kind of a checklist. So I decided to start going through the checklist myself, which I have done earlier in the week. And believe it or not, I kind of skipped on a few points. And then when I started going through it as if I had me on the phone, what would I tell me to do? And then I did it. And I discovered what the problem is. So the good news is there's nothing wrong with my camera. There's no really bad news either. The problem, I'll tell it a little later when we get a lot of people in here, but I'll tell it right up front. The culprit, so first of all, so you know what the problem is, okay? the camera would just freeze up. And I thought I had a bad camera. It's possible to get a bad camera. I was starting to be able to repeat it on demand. So when you have a problem and you want to make a complaint, you basically want to start to do what? Knocking things out as possibilities, okay? So being able to repeat it, I was able to repeat the problem over and over. So I figured the camera was freezing, so the cables. Well, it wasn't the cables. So after the cables, you've got a USB cable, you've got an HDMI cable, which I went and even bought a brand new HDMI 2.1, which is, don't I look better? I'm on an HDMI 2.1 cable, all right? So then I brought out, it took me a while to find, well, maybe it's the computer, maybe it's the card, the Blackmagic card that's reading all 5 of these cameras in here. And so I switched it and pumped it directly and recorded into Ninja 5, okay? So was able to repeat the camera freezing up. So then I determined, well, it's broke. The camera is broke. So I went to sleep last night and got up today. And again, Osvaldo was helping me with the coloring and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of coloring work done on here too. So I figured, you know what they would tell me to do? They would tell me to take off the lens. I didn't do that. So I took off the lens, no lens on the camera, and it didn't freeze. Aha, I said, a clue, a real live clue. So I put the lens back on and it started freezing again. So I took the 85mm Canon lens off but left the adapter on. So I have a Sigma SM, no, it's not SM, MC 12, is it? I always have the box facing the wrong way. Every night for the last frickin' week, I want to say what I have. It's the Sigma converter to the L mount, MC21. There it is. So everybody can see what it is. That's it right there. Come on, focus. I spent all that time trying to get this thing to focus, and now it's going to screw me over. Okay, so that is the adapter that's on there. So I put the adapter on. It didn't freeze up. So I put the 85mm lens on there, and it froze up. Whoa, 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 whoa. We actually have something going on here that is quite important. Very, 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 very important. Okay. So now what do? I don't have an L-mount native lens like a Panasonic or a Sigma L-mount native lens. But I do have a 50L, Canon 50L 1.2. Very nice lens. So that's the lens that's on here right now. I cannot get it to freeze. I have done everything that I've done in the past. Where are we? I have done everything that I've done in the past to get the darn thing to freeze, and it won't freeze. So I put the 85mm 1.8 USM lens back on there. Bam! I could get it to freeze just like that. Success! But why was it doing that? So I took the lens off. I cleaned the contact points. I got an emery cloth, which is abrasive, like a sandpaper, but very, very fine. You almost can't even do your nails with it. So I cleaned that. I cleaned it with alcohol. I put it back on. Boom, it froze. Okay? Put the 50L on there. No freezing. Doing the same clicking, changing, everything. Okay? It does not freeze. So what you're actually looking at right now, when it gets back around in its own sweet time, is this is the 50L lens at 1.2. So I got the good lens on here. So this is the 50mm Canon L lens, 1.2 at 1.2. So you see where it says up there? It says Canon 85 millimeter 1.8 at 1.8 on the MC21 adapter. The MC21 adapter is on the camera, but that ain't the lens. That right there is not the lens. I have to update that. Sue me. Get in line. Okay. So I have the 50 millimeter L lens, which kind of makes me happy because that's a really expensive. I was going to sell this lens. I'm so glad I didn't sell it. Okay, so let's say hi to everybody that's in here. So we got Mr. Camera. First, Woody was saying hello. Hi, Friday Nighters. And then Lewis. How you doing, Lewis? He's right up the road, right down there. He'll be on tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, 24 hours from now. You could see Lewis at his house in the Fort Lauderdale area. Jeff is all the way down in Australia, in Brisbane, and he's saying hello. Roy is also in Australia is very, very well represented. So Roy says, good day, Peter. First chat I haven't missed this week. You mean every single night I've been on this week? Roy, I cannot believe. Well, you were going to work, okay? So I guess you're not working over there. It's Saturday. So, but I can make fun of you anyway, right? All week, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was on every single night and you missed every single one. How do you do it? There must be a special talent. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. But now you're 24 hours from me plus 2. So you're about noon 1 o'clock in Australia. So welcome from down under. Can you give me the lottery ticket number, please? The ticket numbers so that I can just play the lottery tonight and I could just buy a Z8 and be done with it. Well, if I win the lottery, maybe I'll get a Z9, but it's kind of heavy to carry around. But what a nice looking camera, right? So, welcome, Roy. You didn't miss tonight. Timeless Truths. Peter, you are amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing, Timeless. You're wonderful. You're fantabulous. And Roy says, if all else, read the manual. I did. Not even a hint. Nothing in there. Panasonic, they've got a lot to be desired. The camera is very nice, okay? And I would definitely recommend the camera. But as far as dealing with their documentation and the people, double, okay? They're not like dealing with Nikon or Canon. I could tell you that for sure. So Jeff says, thanks for the help, Peter, on where to go and get and apply the LUTs. They're not too hard. Once you get the flow, it's yours. You can do as you will, when you will, so on and so forth. So I don't remember what, all right, wait a minute. If I continue reading, I'll find out. I downloaded a few already for when I try shooting in C-Log. Not sure what is better, C-Log or C-Log 3. This is so much harder than photography. It really isn't. Don't let it become a stumbling block for you, Jeff. All it is like if you work in Lightroom, it's a preset. Think of it as a preset, okay? So if you're going to take videos and you cannot apply the preset in the camera. You have to apply it in your software. So that's the rule number 1. So like Lightroom, you have to get your picture into Lightroom and you apply a preset. It's not any harder than that. You just need to know where you put the preset on your ding-dong hard drive. That's the hard part. Where is that preset again? Okay. So the same thing if you're doing videos. you're going to have to pull in the preset. I don't know if you're running Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, so I don't have much time with hands-on on Adobe Premiere. But on Final Cut Pro, just go down and where your search is, make sure it says everything, just put in LUT, and there's a LUT loader for you, okay? So then you have to go on your hard drive to where your LUTs are. That would probably be the hardest part, okay? So that is for the video. Now, once you get the LUT in and it's activated, it's business as usual, no matter where you are, what software you're in. Yes. So Roy says, wait a minute. I jumped one, Roy. Sorry. So HDMI cables are not a standard. Well, I had probably 2.0s, and I picked one up. It was like $13, but it was the 2.1. So it's got more of a pass-through, and that's what I'm running right now. So on this camera, I'm running an HDMI 2.1. Probably on all the rest of them, they're older. But because I was trying to fix a problem, I started getting them all out of my drawer. So I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's one hanging. 6 or 7 cables that I've gone through, HDMI. So it does have a full-size HDMI cable on this camera, but it wasn't the cables. And I thought maybe it was the batteries. And it wasn't the batteries, because I have 3 genuine Lumix batteries. So I figured maybe the batteries. So then I thought maybe the computer. Well, I don't have another computer, but I have a Ninja 5, which is capable of recording directly into the Ninja 5. So I'll just plug it into the Ninja 5. I was able to make it freeze everywhere, every time, all the time, the same place, okay? So what's actually happening for those of you that are a little bit like that, okay, is when you go from the C1, C2, C3, and you go into manual mode or into the movie mode, for some reason the camera needs to reread. You can actually see it black out. So it's basically, for a lack of better words, this might not be the correct word, the camera resets. And there's something on the 85mm Canon EF 1.8 USM lens, okay, that when it tries to reset and the camera tries to reset, it freezes the camera. So the camera is doing something wrong, okay, but it's only happening on that one lens. But whatever routine they're using on that particular lens, it glitches. So when it glitches, it freezes. So I'm able to turn the mode dial and make it freeze every time. So, of course, you're going to do your own process of elimination. You would do the same thing, right? I know you would. So you think maybe the cable is going bad. And then that cable gets changed. And the same thing happens on the new cable. So if you're anything like me, you get a little bit stubborn. You go, okay, I'll try another cable. So we went through 5 or more, and I could make it freeze. So I went, the camera's got a bug. The firmware's got a bug. I can't believe it. So then I said, what if it's the USB cable where I'm getting power from the wall? So let's disconnect that. So I disconnected that. I still got the camera to freeze. The same place. When it goes and resets itself and you go from the movie mode on the dial on the top, there's C1, C2, C3. Those are your presets. Then you got program, shutter, aperture, and manual. Then you have movie. There's a movie spot. When you go over to movie, the camera rereads itself. I'm calling it resets itself. Well, when you have that particular lens, it freezes every time, okay? So I thought, well, the first thing that the person on the phone would tell me is, well, put a regular Panasonic lens on there, and I don't have one. So I took the adapter, which is this guy right here. I took the adapter off. No freezing, but no lens. Okay, you can't take a picture with just your, I was going to say mirror, but we don't have a mirror in here. Okay, so you can't just take a picture like that. So I put it back on. I changed the dial up on top, turned the dial around and around, and it froze. Now, I personally believe it shouldn't, okay? However, I don't write the software, so I can't step into, that's above my pay grade, all right? So I figured without the adapter on there, so I'm figuring this adapter is not playing well with the camera. But wait a minute. Panasonic, Sigma, and Leica are all part of the same consortium. So why isn't this working, number one? Number two, I forgot what number two was. Oh, I have found videos where people that have this same exact camera as me are using this adapter. And you know what they're reporting? They're reporting, wow, it works a lot better than I thought. And it does. You're actually, when we get to that camera again, it works better than you would think with an adapter. With a Canon lens, with a Sigma adapter on a Lumix body, you would think this is going to be, really bad. But it works very well. Unless you try to change the mode dial. So if you want to go take a picture, which is what happened. Okay, I took it out Sunday with me, and I'm changing the dial on the top because when you take pictures, you run your camera. Okay, and the camera started freezing. I'm going, oh my God, I have a defective camera. How is it possible that I have a defective camera? So finally, it took me a while to get to the point, take the lens off the adapter. That did take a while, all right? It was up, I was up till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning until it finally, why don't you take the lens off the adapter? Try it with just the adapter. And the camera worked. I'm going, no, it can't work. It's supposed to freeze up. It freezes up when I put that adapter on the camera. But it wouldn't freeze up. So I'm going like, could it possibly be the lens? Now what do I do? So I said, oh, I have more than one Canon lens. So I walked over, and I got my 50L out. Now, the 50L doesn't reach enough, okay, because I was using the 85. So now I actually have, when we eventually get back to this camera, I actually have the 50L on the camera, but I put the camera into crop mode, which gives me what? Do the numbers, quick, okay? It's now a 75 millimeter. So this is actually perfect. It's giving me a little bit of a wider lens from 85 to 75. And I tried to make it freeze. I was turning that dial. Movie mode, C1, didn't freeze. Movie mode, manual mode, didn't freeze. Movie mode, shutter priority, didn't freeze. I'm going like, good Lord, it's the 85 millimeter lens. So I took the 50 millimeter lens off, put the 85 back on. I cleaned it. I did the emery board. You can use like, I think Roy said here. Roy said pencil rubber erasers. Well, I couldn't find a rubber eraser, but I have this washer that you put on your hose, which is a rubber eraser, basically. I rubbed it down with that. I used an emery cloth, wiped it down. It's shiny now. The contacts are shiny as can be. Okay? So I put the 85 back on. Freezes right up when I go past that movie dial. So that when the camera goes to reset itself, the camera, the adapter, and the 85 millimeter lens that I should say that I have causes the camera to freeze. Now I'm going to go back and start to find, because you could find YouTube videos. Does the MC21 adapter on the S5 Mark II, does it work well? or does it not work well? Okay. And you'll find, well, you'll get clickbaity titles. Does it work or does it crash? But the end is, yeah, it works great. Okay. So I figured this is like wonderful because I've got 4 or 5 lenses. Now, I haven't tried the other ones because I do have a 50 millimeter, the Thrifty, the Nifty Thrifty or whatever it's called. 50 millimeter 1.8 EF lens. The cheap one, that's $100. I haven't tried that one, but when you have the 50 millimeter L lens, whoa, let's go for that first. We're talking about when it came out, a $2,200 lens. Now, if I put it up for sale, if I get $700 for it, I'm doing good, okay? But now I need it. Okay, so what we will be saving for, the links are in the description below where it says Amazon gift card or PayPal donations, is we're going to be saving up for an 85 millimeter Panasonic lens. They're $425. It'll be a Panasonic brand, and that's what we're going to raise the money for. So if you want to donate towards that lens, by all means, click and make a donation. $425, okay? Whoever gets the feeling to, I want to put some money into the Christmas room, the link is down below, okay? And also my links to everything else is down below too. Use them. If you get curious to see, I'm going to put a comment in B&H and Adorama. So if you want to see my comment on the Lumix S5, go over there and read the comments. Don't just use my links because you want to buy something. Oh, no. Become a curious boy like me. I want to see the people that buy this camera right here, the one we're looking at. So this is the 50L, okay, at 1.2, and we're on the Sigma MC21 adapter, which is this big boy right there. I might have the link for this down below too, okay? But you can use any link you want. They'll remember everything you buy for the next 4 hours, and I'll get the credit for. So, yeah, the pencil rubbers, I did that. I did everything. There's something wrong with either all 85 Canon 85s or just my particular one. So Peter is big down under. I don't know how I'm supposed to read that. So I have very poor aim. I missed again. So it's 12:13 there. 76. Carl Edwards is here. Hi from sunny England. So you're what? 7 hours from Miami in advance? So it's 10:30, so it's not sunny there. It should be the middle of the night. You should be just getting up to go to the bathroom and then go back to bed. So what time is it there now, Carl? Are you 76 years old? Or do you have 76 pounds or dollars? Or do you have 76 gold coins? Is 76 your password? Shh, don't tell anybody. All right, so Roy says, most of my problems are from the nut on top of the release. Yes, I know that feeling. So here's the big news that I didn't want to spill the beans. Woody ordered the Nikon Z8, the FTZ adapter, and the Z24-70 f4 lens using one of Peter's links. Yay! Now the wait begins. Did they have it in stock, or do you have to wait for it to come back in stock? I'm always curious about that. Oh, I would be sitting on pins and needles, Roy. Honest to God, I would be, oh my God. Can I just sleep for the next 3 days until a package comes? I just want to go to bed and go to sleep until I hear ding dong. So if you ordered it from Adorama, I think it'll come UPS. So I know the feeling. So I got that new HDMI cable yesterday. So I put it on last night. And yeah, we froze up. But after I did the thing last night, I went to bed. I started watching If you want to laugh at me, I've gotten very much into landscape yard mowing videos. No, I don't like cutting the grass. Yes, I had to cut my grass as a teenager. No, I don't like cutting the grass today, although I do a little bit because I have a lithium battery lawnmower. But there's just something peaceful about watching somebody else cut the grass. And I'm learning all these different lawnmowers, and I'll just lay there, and for an hour or two, I will watch the bzzz, bzzz, excuse me, and then you put it in fast motion. So they cut the grass, bzzz, 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 and it's just peaceful. You know what it does? It gets my mind, off of everything. Let me get some water here. I put a lot of heavy cream in my coffee. So Woody has the Z8. And boy, that camera going to last you for years. Well, you're coming from what? The D500? So you actually have something newer than Rylan. I'd like to say he's a friend of mine, but he was kind of like, because of his age, he wasn't too communicative, and I can't blame him. You have people wanting to talk to you on the internet, and here I am in my 60s. He was like 16, 17 years old, and I'm being all friendly. He's probably going like, oh, here's the rubber washer. Roy, are you still there? That's the rubber washer. I got one just sitting over here so I could fiddle with something. I like to fiddle with something, okay? So, but Rylan had a D500, and I think that's what he was taking pictures of. He's called Rylan's Amazing Photography. Really nice, sweet, kind kid, okay? And you get to watch him. I learned what a blind is because he's going, I'm sitting in the blind. I'm going, what? What did you say? I'm sitting in the blind. And if it's a hut where you sit inside of this hut out in the wilderness so the animals don't see you, or I guess don't smell you because it's if you're downwind, and you got a window to look out of, and you could stick the camera lens out of this window, and it's called the blind. So Ryland actually taught me something. I didn't know what a blind was. Now I know. When you talk and you say, yeah, I was out in my blind, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do. Thanks to Ryland. I think his name is Ryland Meadows, but if you try to look him up, it's not Ryland Meadows. It's Ryland's Amazing Photography. Really, it's amazing how wonderful kids can be these days. You know, Woody, I gush all over Luke because, Luke is about the same age as Ryland. Okay, I just thought of it. So Luke is 18 years old. Ryland is 18 now. Maybe he's 19. I don't know. So he bought a Z9. That's the reason I brought him up. So here you have a 17, 18-year-old buying a Z9. You know he's flying around high because, that camera is like a piece of jewelry. And I would get excited too, okay? And I'm not 18 or 19 anymore. I'm almost 3 times that age, but I still get as excited as can be. So congratulations to Woody, because Woody now has a Nikon Z8 flying in, and that is absolutely, positively wonderful. So Roy is talking to Woody. He's saying, shouldn't be a long wait. Nikon seems to have plenty of stock this time. That's good news. So those of you that want to buy a Z8, go. Oh, yeah, use my link. I forgot. I'm not that good at that stuff. It's in the description below. Okay, use my link, because it makes them know that they came from here. They keep track of this crap. Okay, I was going to say another word, but I'm trying to behave. So if you get curious to see what's the latest comments on the Z8, or what's the latest comments on the Q3 from Leica, or what's the latest comments on that Fuji X, something 20 camera, which is going to be a very nice camera. Go click on my link. You could go read what the people are commenting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I've got a strong curiosity, so I like to see what other people are talking about, and I go over there to see, especially on this camera and the Z8. I want, because that camera's out in the wild. People have it in hand. Woody's going to have it. So within a week or so, we're going to be getting reports from Woody. Roy also has the camera in hand. Okay, so it's a wonderful, wonderful camera. So Woody is saying, Roy, I hope you're right. I hope they got it inspired. So Funny Fest, hi Peter, Friday night. you were with me a couple of times this week, right? And you saw me. I was doing my lamentations publicly because you have a new camera and it's freezing up. And then you've got to deal with a company like Panasonic. It's not the coolest thing on the planet, okay? But the hardest thing that I had is just going out there and going, where do I get a converter, a RAW converter for the S5 Mark II files? There's no answer to that. The answer is, so you know, it's SilkyPix. And it's version 8, and it's free, and it's from Panasonic, but Panasonic has got no obvious link to it. Okay, so you go over to Panasonic.com or wherever it is, Panasonic USA, go to support, put this camera in there, look for a RAW file converter because I was shooting RAW. Now, how do I get the RAW files to turn into pictures? You're going to have that same problem, Woody, when the Z8 comes in. If you don't have Lightroom or something that's up to date, you're going to have that same problem. Okay, well, I had that problem. So there's the answer is not obvious. So if you go over there and you download the SilkyPix, because a few people said SilkyPix will do it for you, so I downloaded SilkyPix. Okay, the trial version. Well, they're on version 11. Well, guess what? It doesn't do it. So I'm thinking like, meh. Put a little stronger word than meh, okay? So eventually someone made a post. Oh, I'm able to convert it with this. Here's the link. Thank you for whoever that person was. Okay, so maybe I should do that also for you guys or anybody that might watch this in the future or when I make the video on the big channel. Okay, here's how you can convert your RAW files. Now, the SilkyPix that you want is version 8 point something, not the 10 or the 11. It doesn't do it. Plus, they want to sell that to you. Okay, so this one is free, and its big problem is you can only output to TIFF or you can only output to JPEG. It needs to be able to output to DNG. Then I could take the file directly into my old Lightroom, which is version 6, the last one that was you could purchase, because I bought that one. I paid for it, okay? I think it was $49 or $59 at the time because they were over $100, and every once in a while Adobe would drop the price, and the timing and everything is aligned, and I bought it, and I still use it. But guess what? They went to a subscription-only plan. And I'm not going to pay them, okay? $19.95 a month to do my pictures? No. So I went through a bunch of different ones. The AC/DC is one of the better ones. None of them work as smooth as Lightroom, though. So I keep going back to Lightroom. But Lightroom obviously is not going to read the RAW files from here, from this camera right here, okay? So I did download the SilkyPix. So I can export them as JPEGs, and then I could take it into Lightroom. I would prefer to export them as DNG because DNG is really, really good. So I imagine in time, the DNG converter will get updated, and because that's what I use. I use the DNG converter, okay? But they haven't updated it this year at all. So there's no money in it for them, so that it's not the biggest priority on their list. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So I'm waiting for that to happen. So Funny Fest is here. Funnel Fest is here. Roy says, okay, there he is. It's funny watching computer errors appearing on cameras. Contact cleaner is still safest. I used alcohol, but you basically have to clear that oxidation off, okay? And the emery cloth or that green scouring thing on the back of your sponge, you know the sponge has a sponge on the front and a green on the other side, that will do it too, but you don't want to get water on your lens. So I use the emery, which is a black cloth, and you can actually sand your fingers, but it's so fine you can actually make a shine with it. I mean, this is not like sandpaper, okay? I'm not saying use sandpaper. It's a black, wet, dry sandpaper, and it's very, very fine. It really is excellent. So Kyle is here. Hi, Peter. I'm itchy. Oh, Kyle took some medication, and he's had a bad reaction to it, and now he's itchy everywhere on his body. Pick a spot, he's itchy right there, okay? So he even went to the clinic, and of course, they just gave him Benadryl. I could have told him that from here. Roy says the FTZ2 is better than the FTZ. No lump underneath. I don't know which one I've got, but I have the one with the lump underneath, and it balances the lens better when I put the tripod mount to that one. So whichever one that is, that's the one that I've got. I think everything was out of stock when I ordered, so we got to wait for the stock to arrive. Okay, there we go. Roy says, I love cutting grass. I could watch someone else do it all day. It's very relaxing. I was almost not going to say it because it sounds kind of dumb, right? So the guy I watch is Phil's Landscaping Care, okay? And Phil is not P-H-I-L. It's F-I-L-L. Like fill her up when we had the gas station. Or you want more coffee? Fill a cup up. Yeah, F-I-L-L. So very nice guy. He's a Christian guy. He's got 2 channels. One, very little talk, 99% cutting the grass. I subscribed. Then he's got another one where he talks it through. And I find I actually enjoy it because I play a game with his videos now. I play a game of what tool is he going to use next, because he's got a process. And it's a really cool process. After you watch 3 or 4 of his videos, you're going to see that the man, there's a process and he thinks it through. So he also has a little bit different business model. I'll tell you in a second. So Phil's business model is, I'll cut your grass for free. You know why? It's going to get me 200, 500, a million views. That's where I'll make the money. So he'll go into a house that the grass is way overgrown. They're going to get a citation or a ticket from the city or whatever. And he tells them, I'll mow your grass. Well, we can't afford it. I just got out of surgery. I'll do it for free. I just need permission to be able to YouTube it, to record it, because I put it up on YouTube. Oh, yeah. So he does a lot of the grass for free, and he gets hundreds of thousands of views. Now, imagine us being able to do that in weddings. You know, I'll do your wedding for free if I can YouTube it, record it and YouTube it, okay? That could be a business model or, whatever other business. It's working for him and somebody else. I think Tim the Lawn Man does it also. He's 100% no charging. Phil does have some clients, but he also has where he will go and just cut somebody's grass that's way overgrown. So by watching these guys, now I discovered a new lawnmower. You remember the lawnmowers that go around like this? Okay. Well, it's not that. Okay. It's something else like that. And it goes through something that's taller than me and mows it down first time round. Holy moly. That is amazing. So where did I leave off? Roy says the D500 is still a great camera. And we got Sly in the room. Evening all. I'm behind as usual, trying to make up for lost time. So do you have the little guy with you, Sly, or has he been sent off with one of his parents, his mom? And you're trying to catch up. Well, unless you say otherwise, Sly, I think you'll be on at 11:30. We're already at 10:45, so she'll be on in 45 minutes. See where it's red all the way over here? See where it's not red anymore? See where it's red right there? And it says Sly Reader. So she comes on right after me. Okay, so you guys that don't know, she comes on after me at 11:30. 10:30 her time. She's in Oklahoma. I'm in Miami. So a half hour after I quit, she'll be coming on. Roy says the Z8 is fantastic, but I'm no fan of the battery grip. Well, the good news is, Roy, with that camera, that's an accessory. You don't have to buy the battery grip. So you can hate it and never buy it. And that is your lucky day. What can I say? Now, with the Z9, you don't have that luxury, okay? Plus, with the Z8, the cameras with the battery grip is actually bigger than the Z9 that has the built-in battery grip. So, I don't really care. I normally don't buy the battery grips. Maybe if I was shooting weddings and stuff, I might have one camera with the battery grip. But even when I go, I don't turn it. I shoot like this, okay? And my finger is up here. So that's the way I work it. So I'm not really into the battery grips. And even when I have the big camera, the flagship cameras that have the built-in battery grips, I still flip it over by hand and shoot this way. That's just my cup of tea. So Woody says, Peter, yes, Woody, what can I do for you? Oh, he actually has a sentence. I use Nikon NX Studio, so I should not have a problem. Yeah, really, if Nikon's own software doesn't do their new files, then we got a problem, Houston, okay? So, yeah. I don't know too many guys that are using the Nikon NX Studio, okay? So you're one of the few people that I actually know that actually use it. So that's pretty cool. So Jeff says, hey, Peter, this may be an absolutely crazy smart question. Would your 85 1.8 that freezes, would it need a firmware update? Just a thought. I do not understand as much as you do. Never be afraid of questions with me. I'm not the kind of person that does anything except when somebody gets on my nerves, like happened last night, okay? And then if they're my friend and I love them, I'll go after them like I did, okay? Because never mind, don't want to get off track. I'm staying on track here, okay? I don't think that lens has a firmware update, but I can't make that a for sure answer. So anybody that is good at research, you might want to look it up for me and see, does the 85 millimeter USM lens from Canon, it's the EF mount 1.8, does that take a firmware update? I don't know of any Canon lenses that get firmware updates. Now the Sigma lens, and actually the adapter, does get a firmware update, okay? That's the adapter box. How do I make it so it doesn't reflect? If I go up, okay, so it's not reflecting. So that's the box, that's the top, that's the bottom, that's the side, okay? Now I've given you a grand tour of the box. So it is a good question. I wish the answer was yes, okay? Because if the answer is yes, then maybe that lens can work on here. because I really prefer the 85 millimeter because I like the full frame, and now I'm using the crop version because the 50 doesn't have a big enough reach. If I went and put it full frame, you see beyond I would be a small little guy in your frame. Okay. So Scotty says, "Hi gang," and Scotch-Brite pad. That's the one. That's the one, Scotty. I use a Scotch-Brite pad. Bop, 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 bop. Roy says, "Careful, emery cloth, etc. sheds powder." Well, it's over. I'm finished. I'm not cleaning it no more. Lump is on the FTZ Mark 1. So I have to go over there and see which one I got because I really don't know which one I got. So here's my B&H visitor. He comes, he calls me and texts me, "Peter, I'm at B&H. Ha 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 ha." I'm going like, "Oh my God, Sam, you're at B&H. I want to be there with you." So Sammy went to B&H and he took pictures and he was showing me some different cameras and it was like, oh wow. I'm getting a hands-on tour from Sammy. So he lives in Jersey. So he just takes the train, hops over to Hudson, and walks over and buys stuff and then comes back home. So Sammy is all right. He's another 18-year-old we have in here. We got great young guys in here. Sammy's actually going to go to film school, or he's in film school now. So he's going to come out and be a great, fantabulous movie director, maker, producer. And he's going to apply all that knowledge to his YouTube channel because Sammy has a YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen Sammy Superstar, let me put that back up. So it's in red. Sammy Superstar is the name of his channel right there. See? Okay, so you can go and watch him too. He makes videos. When he puts up a video, I go there and I will give him a thumbs up, even if it's something that I'm not interested in, because he's my friend. And that's what you guys should be doing here, giving me a thumbs up because you're my friend. Was that a hint? Was that a clue? So Scotty says, "While cutting grass, I wear earbuds and then headsets over that, and I listen to all my favorites." That's a good idea. See, I'm in the older age group where I don't, go out and think in terms of wearing earbuds. But you know what? I think that Phil's landscape, I think Phil wears earbuds when he's out there, probably listening to his music. Roy says his gardeners are called the Garden Ninjas, but they don't turn up in black. Oh, thank you guys for putting in the thumbs up. So Jim, good evening, Peter, and everyone in and out tonight. Stuck in Charlotte, North Carolina for a second night with work stuff. So Jim travels around, and then if he's out and about, when he can connect up, like he's in a hotel room or in a house or something in Charlotte. That's not where he lives. He actually lives, I believe, maybe in the Raleigh area? No, Richmond area. Okay, so I believe that he lives in the Richmond area. So when he says he's in Charlotte, I know he's on the road with his work. So who else do we have? Oh, Woody. Jim Monday, Hanover County, Virginia resident here. I thought I heard you are in Richmond. So you guys are in the same neck of the woods. So that is pretty cool. So it's very interesting how you guys make friends with each other. Like I know that Jim likes another guy that I don't really communicate with, Dave, from the Tesla channel, EV Dave. So I like him. I like watching him. He's on a road trip now in Wyoming, EV Dave. And he bought one of those Rivians. And so he's on a road trip with the Rivian. So Roy says, I was hoping the Z8 grip would be like the D850 grip, taking the EL18 batteries. I got that song memorized, Roy. So you're just playing the same tune over and over. I don't really care. I'm not being offensive, but if I buy the Z8, I'm not buying the grip, okay? And you've got the Z9 with the grip already built in, so just switch cameras and stop griping. You're beginning to sound like one of your kids. They just gripe and gripe and gripe, and they just don't stop griping, but that's what their job is. Okay, so I use NX Studio, but Nikon is not known for their great software. Apparently, Woody is enjoying using it. So I'm not a Nikon. I'm not a Canon shooter, but older lenses don't support firmware updates. Scotty says, is Pentax still in the game at all? No. They really, their following is waning, petering out, so to speak. Since my name is Peter Gregg, it's nice to use that word. It's petering out. They would need to do kind of like what Lumix did. Do something spectacular that would draw people over to them. So where the Pentax is very weak is their lens lineup. But you can't make new lenses if you don't have the cash, okay? So they're not selling that much, so they actually use what they've got. They do have some nice lenses, don't get me wrong, and it's an old-time company. So Randy is not sleeping, which kind of surprises me. I also use the Nikon Studio, and I like the older version better. These last two updates have messed up my viewing, my pictures, trying to find an older version. So Roy, if you've got an older version of the NX Studio that you can hook up Randy with, your buddy there needs your help. Okay, Roy? Because I know you're really into that stuff. So Roy is talking to Scotty. Woody is NX Studio takes care of 99% of what I need. Then I go to Raw Therapy. I haven't looked at that one in a while. I'd like to look at that one and see what it's about. And I guess the first thing is I like to shoot RAW when I'm out and about. For pictures, for video, no, I don't bother with RAW. I don't have the horsepower in terms of hard drive to shoot RAW, okay? But when the DNG converter can switch it over to DNG, then I'll be happy, because then I can put that anywhere. But right now, Luminar AI can't read it. Affinity Photo can't read it. I have that. Affinity Designer can't read it. Lightroom obviously can't read it, but that is not going to change. So I need DNG converter to update so that they can actually read the files out of here, and then I can go back to shooting RAW. Sammy says, I don't think so. So that means that the 85 can't be updated. I think the Tamron has an update. I don't have a Tamron that's got a Canon mount. Otherwise, I'd be able to put it on here too. Most new lenses are focused by wire. They need firmware updates. Maybe that's what the problem is. I don't think the 85mm is a focus by wire. So that might be the problem, Roy. So you might have hit the nail on the head. So Sammy says, very nice. Jim says, yes, Richmond, Virginia. And I know Hanover County. I will connect with you. So we've made friends here because Woody goes out. Was it Woody or David? David hasn't been in here in a while. He gets up early Saturday night, and he goes Saturday mornings now, and he goes out shooting. So he probably watches the rerun. So if you're watching this on the rerun, David, how you doing, buddy? I miss you. I love you. It's Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads taking me home to the place Carlos lives. Hey, Peter and everyone. Miss you, Peter. Been crazy busy recently. Gonna go back to normal in 2 weeks. Motivated Minds. He's my shrink. He is a registered, licensed philanthropist. No, not philanthropist. He's a licensed physiologist, psychologist, actually. No, not psychologist. The other one that doesn't do the medications. Psychology, okay? Therapist is what he is. So I know when the moon is out, then Carlos gets really, really busy. Oh, Carlos is Motivated Minds. If you're wondering why I'm saying Carlos, and that's up there. So Carlos has a channel, Motivated Minds. As you can see in red, he's got a channel, and he does YouTube video. And so I was doing a Carlos all week this week, every single night, unannounced, because I was trying to make the camera break. Because if it needs to be exchanged, now's the time. But now I got it fixed myself. And, you know, I'm glad because I like the camera. I know it's wrong. So the 50 millimeter L lens, that should be an old lens too. So I wonder why I cannot get the camera to freeze with that. Maybe there's something wrong with my lens, but we won't know the answer to that. So those of you guys that want to pitch in to buy an 85 millimeter Panasonic lens, they're $429. I will look for a used one. Use the link before, go to PayPal, put some money in the account, and I will be using that money to buy the lens and put the 85 millimeter here. And I'll have my first genuine lens that goes on here because now I'm using the adapter. Now that's only if you want to put money in, okay? So I am not pushing anybody. But Roy, put in your 10 cents, dude. Oh, I forgot you're in Australia. You can't do that. So I'm teasing you, Roy. I never push anybody. Maybe Pentax should join the L-Mount Alliance. That is a really good idea. Wow. That is awesome, Scott. Boy, that should be worth some money right there. Nothing we can do with it, but that would be a move that would get, see, when people move in herds, it becomes bigger. So Pentax, Sigma, Leica, they've kind of like grouped up. And now they're a force to contend with because the Sigma lenses work very well on the Lumix body right here. You'll need the adapter, but it makes them more popular. Boy, Scott, that was you earned your pay for the week, Scotty. And that's a real one. In the film days, Pentax made some real good glass, and they still do. It's just that it's passed them by. Okay, now what Pentax does make that's really nice is their medium format. Okay, so Sammy says that his Pentax has a USB port. I forgot to tell you about my B&H trip. It was very nice. You did tell me about it. Oh, okay. I forgot it was a Friday night. Yes. So you did. We talked on the phone, and then you sent me pictures of what? The camera that you were looking at. So I want more coffee. I drank all my coffee. Oh, this is a Peter Gregg coffee mug. How do I get this closer? Somewhere around here. There we go. That's a Peter Gregg coffee mug. Look at that glare. Just look at that glare. Christmas room. There it is. In and out of focus. Stay in focus. Okay, something warm, human, and wonderful happens when you drink hot coffee out of a Peter Gregg mug. I don't think you can buy them anywhere, so that's definitely not a commercial. All right, guys, it is 11 o'clock. Thank you for being in here. Those of you that have given me a thumbs up, thank you very much. You guys that are watching this later on in the week, you know, you can leave comments too in the video underneath. Say, hey, Peter, I'm watching this later, and I've got this thought, or I've got that thought. Or tell me how you like the quality. Wait a minute, I can do the split image. Let's do that. Okay, let's do the split image, because all week we were comparing. So, no, I said over here. Now you will do where I click that mouse. Now, okay. Now, let's go. Oh, there it is. Okay, now. All right, so where, which, who, what, why. First, let's make them match up, because I did make some changes. Where are we here? We're over here. So let's make them match up. So let's see, which one is this? Okay, wrong camera. So let's centerize the Z6. Now, when they're different sizes, you can't really compare that well. So let's move this one up. Okay, and let's centerize this. Now, it's a little too big. Now you can compare. Now you can compare the two. And which one's got the better picture quality? Which one do you like? Do you like that one there, or do you like that one there? Do you like that one there, or do you like that one there? Okay, so over here on my big screen, they look really close, believe it or not. Okay, so it's not far apart. I'm going to have to look at this after to see what it looks like, because over here on this screen, it's big. So it's hard for me to actually look and see the skin tones, the coloring. I could tell from here that the S52 looks like a better image. Okay, the yellows or the yellow whites on the Z6 seems to be pumped up bigger on this guy right there. Okay, now over here it looks a little warmer. So being in a Christmas room where you want that hugs, kisses, I have a present for you feeling, I think the Z6 now looks more clinical. But the S52 looks more something warm, human, and wonderful happens when you watch a Peter Gregg video. I think, really think that the S52 would get my vote. So Roy says, I like that one there. The S5 Mark II may be a little bit bigger. Matt, how you doing, Matt? Z6 is his preference. See, each person has their own. Woody says he likes the Z6. And Sammy says the S52 looks better. So you see, so how come that's happening? Can you tell me why that's happening? It's because each of us have a different monitor. That's number one. It will look different on one monitor than I'll go to Roy's house and it'll look different. I'll go to Sammy's house, it'll look different. I'll go to Randy's house and get all confused because he's got a dozen monitors over there. Sammy says it seems to be a bit warmer, maybe with the S52. So, yeah. I'm without going to the iPad, which is my reference point, I would have to say my vote is for the S52, which I'm glad because I just bought that camera. So that's a good thing. And you can make any camera look like any camera. So I guess the next logical question is, does anyone have any comments on something that you see that's obvious that maybe I need to adjust on the new Lumix camera? Is it too warm? Is it too cold? Is it too sharp? Does it need to be sharper? Tell me what you're thinking. So let me show you what the lens looks like here without any zoom at all. So this is what it looks like. This is in crop mode, right? So can you imagine how much wider it would be if I put it in full frame mode? Which is why a few of you have gone in and you've clicked on the description below using the PayPal link and you've donated to get the 85mm Panasonic lens that's going to be native to this camera. Okay, So Randy says on the QLED, you have more hair. Oh, no, I'm not reading it clear. Well, I have more hair. You have more HDR on the Z6, okay? There's high definition. But we're not using HDR, okay? So I still vote. I'm still voting for this guy right here. I like the image that we got. Osvaldo actually spent quite a few hours to help me tune in the coloring, which was very nice because Osvaldo is a professional colorist. So my thanks to Osvaldo. $1 million. We're going to have points, and each point is worth $1 million. So Osvaldo gets 5 points, okay? So what was that show? The S52 needs to have your cheeks a little more red. My cheeks need to be a little more red. I don't think there's a slider for cheeks, okay? So I'll have to think about that one. So, all right. Randy, I like QLED, not OLED. So, well, I think that's what Randy's got, QLED. So, there we go, guys. Anybody have any last-minute words of encouragement or love that you want to send to me? Let's see. I also wanted to say that the SM57, which is this mic right here, sounds amazing. It sounds better than the You notice I've been using that a lot more, Sam. You know why? Because it sounds good. And I want to have good sound. So it sounds better than the lav mic. So if I wanted to get up and walk around, I would just pick it up and go like this. So I got plenty of cord, okay? So now all I've got to do is hold the thing here and then just stand up, and I can come up to the desk, and now I'm on the Sony E10. So the E10, wait, where's the mouse? The E10 actually has its own little routine. I have them in a folder called standing up cameras. Okay, so this is my standing up camera. So if I wanted to do a show standing up, I would just hold the mic out like this. Now it's not as convenient as pinning a lav mic here to my chest, but now I'm free to walk around. I got plenty of wire, so I can come all the way to the back of the room. You could see me because I got the mic in my hand. I can come over here to Jingle Bell's chair, which is over here. And the Sony does a good job of focusing, okay? And then I can walk back up over here. Let's pull the cord out. There you go. Okay, it was caught under the one leg of the tripod for the... Never mind. So now it's fixed, and I can walk back up here. And the Sony does a remarkable job of actually keeping me in focus. Roy... no, not Roy. Randy, I have the S95B and I love it. Plus the new one is brighter. Well, what's an S95B? Is that a mic? Maybe. Does anyone have a recommendation on a wireless USB mic? Well, go to Slideshow. It's going to start just a little bit. And she's gone through like at least a dozen to 15 mics. So Sammy says, put your hands in the air. No, that's Simple Simon. Oh, you know where Simon is? He's at the ocean. He's 4 hours away from his house by plane, and he's at the ocean. So how you doing, Liam? Hi. Hi, everybody. If you're watching me from the ocean, well, it's kind of dark now. So the E10 is a great, oh my God, the A10 is a fantastic camera. It is absolutely, positively fantastic. So if I want to go back to the sitting down, I just come over here and I push this button right here and I just plop myself in the chair and there we go. I am now back with the Patty. This is the Panasonic, the S52 Bomber incoming. The S52 Bomber incoming. So I have to remember, because I have a habit when I have this in my hands. I have a habit of putting this mic is the SM57, by the way, of putting it up way too close to my mouth, and it will overmodulate. So I try to put it on a stand, and I try to put the stand so it does that. So this way, if I talk over here, if I talk over there, or if I talk over here, it'll pick me up. So this is on a gooseneck. See the gooseneck? So I can actually bring it up and point it down at me also. So that's another possibility. And the reason for that is because I'm Greek and I talk with my hands, and I'm always like, boom, bumping the mic. But it kind of looks better like that, right? Looks more professional. It's Peter Gregg, Miami, Florida, and I am live in the Christmas room. Sly, if you get your thing, put it up. But she's running behind anyway, so so Sammy says you want a lav mic that is USB. Yeah, that's what he's looking for, Sam. So if you have a wireless lav mic that is USB, okay, so that's what he is looking for. All right, I think I have come to the end of the show. We've got 14 people in here. I don't have 14 thumbs up. What are you waiting for? Give me a thumbs up. That tells me you're out in the audience and you're listening. And that makes me all happy. All happy. So, Sammy, any recommendations? All my lav mics are 3.5 millimeters. They're not 3.4. They're 3.5. Unless Australia is missing a millimeter. They could be. I've heard that Australia misses out on a few things. But 3.5. So Sammy says the Samsung XPD2 lavalier. Good little mic, and it is a lav mic with USB, and you can switch out the mic element. Okay, so here's the question, Sam. Is it wireless? He's looking for a wireless, and I don't know if that Samsung is a wireless, and if it is, that's what Roy's looking for. Okay. We got 15 people in here now. Wow. I might have to go all the way up to Sly's show. So Sammy is putting up a link to something. I don't know what. Is that the Sly show? If it is, thank you, Sam. That's what I wanted. I wanted a link to Sly's show. Alrighty. Yes, it's wireless. Okay. So I am now happy with the S52, the S5 Mark II from Lumix. I can make it crash at will and freeze up, and I can make it not crash anymore. So the camera is, I'm happy with it. I do have to say that Panasonic should be aware of it, because a glitch happens when it refreshes itself when you go like from movie mode to the PSAM. It'll black out, and with every lens it blacks out, but it recovers. So it doesn't freeze, and you would never know there's anything wrong. But with the 85mm 1.8 lens, at least the one I have here, it will black out or it'll immediately freeze. Okay? It won't even black out. So I'll change the mode dial up on the top, and it will immediately freeze. So, but that's solved now. I'm not using it anymore. So I need to buy the Panasonic. So that's why I said the link is down below. There's a link for those of you that want to donate something, just to say, good boy, Peter. Here's a little something towards your $400 lens. Go and donate. Now's the time to do it. And so I'll ask. And if you don't want to, don't. We got the 50mm L lens. I mean, who can complain about a Canon L lens? Seriously. There's only the one, and that's the 50mm 1.0 Canon L lens. That's worth a lot of money, but it's just not a sharp lens at all. I mean, they didn't have the technology back then that they have now. So that's what we've got. And but I don't have that lens. Plus, it's big bucks, and with the low noise that these cameras have today, you don't really need to do that. So there we go, guys. We are at the end of the show. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I love each and every one of you. I pray for you every single night. Let's go over to the, so we end on the Lumix, which is up here somewhere. And here is the Lumix. Thank you, guys. I'll see you over at Sly's show. If she does manage to go live, it'll be in 10 minutes. And if not, if God is willing and the bridge isn't up, I'll see you next Friday. Hello to my friend Justin, who had surgery today. He was on my prayer list. He's in Texas, baby back maniac. So I had him in my prayers all morning long while he went to... So he likes the drugs. Okay? He's back home safe and sound. So he won't be making any videos for a while. But my love goes out to him. He's a dear, dear friend. And I love all my dear friends, which means every one of you guys. So I pray for each one of you. And if you're a praying man or woman, keep me in your prayers too. All right. See you later. Bye. Yeah, really. Bye. Go. Bye. Like Ferris Bueller says, why are you still sitting there? Go. Go. Bye.